everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Authentically Divine. I'm your host, Alyssa Davis. This week's featured product of the week is actually two products, but Zero Wastely. They are actually my first brand partnership. And so this is really cool because I've been using Zero Wastely and I've been using their dish soap bar. And then all of a sudden they reached out to me after I've been posting them a couple of times, but I want to go into the details as to why I love them so much. So I use obviously non-toxic products, and I care about the ingredients that go into everything, even down to dish soap. So this is actually a dish soap bar. This bar actually works in wonders. I use dish brushes, so it's perfect. And I just wanted to highlight some of the features and reasons why this product is so great because the ingredients: coconut oil, orange peels, water, lye, castor oil, citric acid, which is good for cleaning products, and a lemon essential oil. So their dish soap bars come like this. You can scan it and you can get a refill. You can also go to their website. They have really great informative videos on how to use their products, but they also gave me a whole roll of cotton reusable paper towels, and I did a really funny reel with it today, and I'm going to post it. Shout out to my sister for being so silly with me, and it was so much fun. This is the product of the week, Zero Wastely. And I kind of jump around here a little bit, but I want to just focus on today's message. Today's message is the subtle art of stillness. Stillness. This is going to be all about rest, the importance of rest, the importance of de-stressing, the importance of just being still. And for a lot of us, and a lot of me, that was my life, I struggled for a long time to be able to rest, relax, find beauty in the fact of sitting and remaining calm and still. I'm probably going to be speaking to a lot of you. This is just going to be all about finding your way to a better you. But I guess we could go into a little bit of detail here. I've recently joined a group of women, amazing godly women, and if you know anything about the Bible and church, having a community is actually what Jesus was referencing when he said about having a church. Now, I feel that, I've been praying for godly women to enter my life, and my one friend had reached out to me a couple of times and completely made it happen. We have a group of 6 of us now. We're welcoming others into it, but today we're getting together to celebrate one of the women's birthdays, and we're going to be doing a pajama night. It's just going to be so much fun, and that's what I'm doing right now. And you're watching this on a Wednesday. I'm recording this on a Wednesday. I've had a really great day and just wanted to come back and talk about the beauty of stillness, because sincerely, as you can look around, even if you are not even aware of the fact that stillness is needed in your life, you look around, or if you spend 5 seconds in your mind, I'm sure you're one of those people that, like myself, the world is just boom, 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 boom. TikTok, scroll, Instagram, scroll. We're looking at Twitter, Facebook, and you have to text everybody back real quick. I have a corporate job, so I have tasks throughout the day that are boom, 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 or people messaging me on Teams, boom, 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 boom. Honestly, it begins to be a lot. And you can see the physicality of what the world is doing with the thoughts of them being boom, 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 boom. It is a world that we are just rushing to get from point A to point B. And if you take a look around you, if you drive in the morning, if you are someone that commutes for work, or if you're going anywhere, you can see the lack of patience that is just coursing through the blood and coursing through the veins of everyone that is on their way to go and do something. It is a very self-focused world we're living in, and the real root of the problem for most of it is that no one knows how to just sit still. We want to hop up in the car, grab everything and go. We want no one in our way. We don't want a red light. We don't want anything. We do not even want another car on the road, because otherwise, it's an inconvenience for us. I am leaving right on time. I'm not leaving and getting early. I'm not taking my time. No. here's where today's message is going to hopefully change the way that you run your life and further emphasize and be a reminder for myself as well. So I did pray over this episode because I was testing something new. I'm using new equipment. I'm using a GoPro for today's episode, and it's just a little bit different. It took me a little bit longer to get everything together. And again, that stillness. I was struggling with stillness while I was getting frustrated, and I wanted to get this all finalized and get the message out right away. And it's like, nope. God wants us to rest, be calm about the task and the project that we're doing. So I'm going to compare and contrast a couple of things of the way that God had created us versus the way that the world is operating now. But as you can see, we are living in a world that is just go, 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 go. And everyone's rushing to this end destination, but I don't really know where they're rushing to. They don't know where they're rushing to. My time management has gotten exceptionally better since high school days when I would just run out of the house, but I still struggle. So this is just a good reminder for myself, a good reminder for you, and to all my listeners. I just am so grateful that you're here, and I appreciate that you have tuned in. I don't have the logo at the bottom here, so you can find me on Authentically Divine Podcast on Spotify, YouTube. I have an Instagram. You can follow me on my personal account, but please like, comment, send to a friend. Let me know if you like these types of, messages, and if you have an idea of what you'd like for me to do next, drop it in the comments. I'm always open. Or if you have any feedback too, I'm always open. I've set that precedent in my life that I want to be told some good feedback or, constructive criticism. I'm always open to it. So I'm going to start the conversation off with a message here. For today's episode, I have my coffee. I've got some farm decorations, but I do have some farm decorations. I have a pumpkin patch decoration. I have a little pumpkin. We are in fall right now. You may not be because this episode is pre-recorded, but hey, as I progress, I can make them be more time-stamped to what is actually going on. But I did leave some notes for myself because I had this moment of creativity regarding this, and here we are. So this is the subtle art of rest. God rested. When he created the world, when he created humans, when he created us, when he created every living creature, the water, the sky, the heavens, the earth, God on the seventh day rested. It's called Sabbath. If you are not familiar as a Christian woman, this is something I have learned. But on the seventh day, God rested. And I'll read a verse. Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 through 3. So Genesis, if you're unfamiliar in the Bible starts with the book of Genesis, creation. God was creating us, and thus the heavens and earth were finished, and all the host of them. So all those that were living creatures that were residing on the heavens and the earth. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he made, and rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. He had made 3 times, but it's emphasis. God created. If you ever are questioning, God created us. This repeats it 3 times in 3 verses. He had made, from which he had made. God rested on the seventh day. It's encouraged to rest on the seventh day, on a Sunday. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I was looking for verses in the Bible that considered a time of rest. Of course, God rested. There we go. But I want to go into some additional details now. We're talking about if you are not a believer, or if you don't want to go over how God had rested. Let's talk about some statistics, some understanding about resting and why it's so important. So if you are not resting, you can put 2 and 2 together to make the understanding be that you are stressed out. Anyone that is just constantly on the go, 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 your cortisol levels are probably shooting through the roof. If you're unfamiliar with what cortisol is, it's your stress hormone. Your body would be secreting a lot. Take it from me. I was a go, 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 go person. I'm still working on learning to dial it back. and to rest and to relax. I just feel like a lot of us had been involved in this understanding that we need to do this, do that, clean everything. On my days off, I'm looking over there, I have laundry to do. I wrote a whole list of things for myself to do today, and I haven't accomplished most of them. But this is where my creative outlet is. This is where I'm being called to because I'm resting and relaxing. But I don't need to be working myself down to the bone, and neither do you. I know that society is calling for us to be a machine. I'm telling you, it's wrong. Find your way as best you can. If you work a corporate job, set those boundaries. Set the tone that you will not be doing everything all at once for everyone. If you are a person like that, I know of someone in my life that actually took advice from me telling them it takes a special person to be able to be like, I'm worried about you. You're so stressed out all the time. You need to rest. I'm telling this, if you don't have that person in your life, I'm telling you right now, I will be the one to tell you. If you are someone that is constantly go, 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 you never find time to sit in the stillness, you never find time to just relax, maybe even just sit and close your eyes, not even fall asleep, just sit in the stillness. If you're hearing this and you're like, I could never do that, this message is from me, your authentically divine friend, sister, whatever you want it to be. Please, I see you're stressed out. I know you're stressed out. You are working beyond what you can handle. Take a step back. Stop doing everything for everyone. Set those boundaries. Tell that person, I'm sorry, I just need to rest today. Tell that person, I'm sorry, I can't do that task. I have other things to do. Or if you're someone that everyone goes to for answers, like myself, and I've been in situations in the past where I took on everyone's problems and I didn't know how to set boundaries and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to fix this. Take it from me with high cortisol levels and having that be a hormone result. Please, stress and not being able to relax and be still and appreciate the moment, it will be something you will deal with in the future. Your future self will be yearning for that thought to have just been sunken in right. A little bit of technical difficulties as always when it comes to my episodes. So we're back with the original setup. But I did want to also mention, because I forgot to, I'm wearing my Happy and Healthy podcast merch. If you are unfamiliar, Janine Amapola Ward and her husband now, Caleb Ward, he's featured a lot on the podcast. But Happy and Healthy podcast, it's so comfy, and I always represent Christian brands. This is a Christian brand. Absolutely love it. It says Happy and Healthy Club, and on the back, life and life abundantly, and it's a verse, so it's really cool. And so I wanted to talk about, I'm just gonna have a sip of coffee, we're gonna get back into it, but I want to make this be a space where if you don't have these chats with one of your girlfriends, one of your guy friends, I want it to be a space where I can talk to you directly and as though you and I are friends. And if you want that even further, reach out to me. I would love to just be able to tell you it personally. But this is a space that with the Authentically Divine podcast, I'm intending to fully just allow people the freedom and the understanding and the power that they have the capacity to change their lives to be exactly the person that they intend to be. And so these methods that I take are an encouragement for you to take also. But I was talking about stress, and stress, how it can truly just be a killer. It is something that causes a lot of people health issues, mostly chronic. So I was looking up a couple of statistics just to bring awareness of the severity of stress and not being able to rest and not taking time to just be still. Stress is primarily the root to all health issues, especially chronic issues. I found on NASDonline.org, it says that approximately 75 to 90% of all doctor visits are stress-related illnesses. Stress is primarily the root to all health issues, especially chronic. 75 to 90% of doctor visits. If you think about that, you're calling your doctor only when you're stressed out and having chronic health issues. the doctors discover it's stress related. 75 to 90% of the time. NASDonline.org also stated, medical research suggests as much as 90% of illnesses and diseases are stress related. That further emphasizes the importance of de-stressing and resting. We were not designed to be running around as fast as a cheetah. We were not running around, or we were not meant to be doing everything all at once. We truly were never supposed to be like a working horse. We never were. How did we get to this point? Well, when you go to those doctor visits, it says here that high stress causes high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, heart disease. It also can create smaller ailments, allergies, asthma, migraine headaches, ulcers. I learned something new today. I didn't realize that stress can actually cause allergies, asthma. Of course, there's environmental factors. Everything has nuance, but in the grand scheme, stress, they're stating here that stress can cause all different ailments, all different types of illnesses, all different types of diseases. And if we only knew that the way that the world is operating, the way that it's designed by the world is a problem. I literally have a family member that was just chronically stressed, fight or flight mode, and he had to have he had a stent put in because of all the stress, not eating well. We're not encouraged to, this is a whole, but sincerely, stress just can cause a multitude of different ailments, and I don't want that for you. You don't want that for yourself. And so here I am. I'm going to tell you, if you are not speaking up and trying to calm your day, and some people are going to be like, I can't do that. That's not the job I'm in. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm in a call center and I receive calls all day long and I'm still setting my own pace. And it's been difficult. I'm never going to say that this type of thing is easy, but you can do it. I promise you can do it. It's your health. It's now or never. How about another thing? Fear causes stress. We already know that. The world that we're living in, we have a lot of people that they don't have money enough to pay rent. They don't have enough money to fulfill their needs. They don't have money to buy groceries. Everything is really high prices. And you don't wonder why we are all stressed. So it's just saying fear, failure. They gave examples like failure, anxiety, worry, even traffic can cause anxiety, stress, fear. All of it is just all in one big bubble. And I'm ready to pop it for you and give you some solutions. So this goes back to, I always said that in Genesis, God rested. I want to emphasize here, in the Bible, there's a lot of different times that we see about rest. Jesus tells us in Matthew chapter 6, verse 34, he point blank says, for things of failure, anxiety, worry, things that are causing us stress, the things that are not allowing us to be still and be in the moment. Jesus says, take no thought, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. So everyone is stressed about money. Everyone's stressed about how I'm going to get to point A from point A to point B. Tomorrow I have if you're a list person like myself, where I'm creating a list for myself, I'm worrying about what I need to do tomorrow. Jesus is telling us, do not worry about tomorrow. Basically, take tomorrow off the table. Worry about today. Interlude. Jesus is telling us that there isn't a need to worry. Never. There's never a need to worry. Tomorrow will happen tomorrow. But you are living in the moment. He's calling us back to live in the moment. And that's all we have is today. Just focused on today. That's the problem. We're all I have a deadline. I have to post this. I'm guilty of it too. I have to post this. I have to go see that. I have to, these are the hours. Well, so let me rearrange my schedule. I'm already booking 5 workout classes this week, planning, and I have activities after work. And I'm I have to keep a calendar so I can get an understanding. Because I've fallen victim to this too. This is me, just like I said from the beginning, it's just a good reminder for myself to calm and be relaxed. And these are the reasons. So I'm hoping that you also adhere to what I'm saying and understand it from my perspective too. Like, we're all human, but we are not in a rat race. I have wanted to take myself out of the rat race for a long time. This is one way to help myself, and I hope you find yours. Yeah, rat race. Too many tabs are open. We're thinking, I'm guilty of this. Too many tabs are open in my mind. Too many tabs are open on my phone. I take pictures of everything. I'm like, why do I have a picture of my notebook on there? I'm like, on accident. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then trying to clean it all out, you have to take the time, and it's like, there is no urgency for anything. Truly, there really isn't. We're living in a world that is just need. I wanted to offer a couple of pieces of advice that I have done to implement rest in my life. And I did mention this in my habits episode, but each morning I get up, I read the Bible, and I pray, and I sit with God. And I do try to find the time during the day, and I have recently started re-implementing spending time with the Lord with my Bible at night. Now, I'm not perfect. It's not going to be an everyday thing. But for the most part, what I found is spending time with God in the morning, sitting in that stillness, and realizing and learning about God through the Bible. There is literally no reason to rush. There's no reason to roll out of bed, give myself like a freaking heart attack. There's no reason to be rushing out of bed to get to work and just skip all the steps. And I honestly have been setting aside so much time to be reminded of the stillness, because God will give you that calm. He's given me that calm. He's given me the grace. He can give that to you too. You sit in the calm and the relaxation with him, and you don't even have to read the Bible, but as a start, you can, just to learn God, but learn about him. And just sitting and praying and showing gratitude to your life, praying for for something that's going on in your life, something that may be going on for someone else's life, but just sitting and being still in the morning, especially in the calm, when, everyone else is going to work or everyone's rushing, you're just sitting and being calm. And it's a struggle too. It's not perfect. Your mind is going to still be like running and trying to tell you, this is what you have to do next. You don't have time to be sitting here. You need to do this. You need to do that. The dog's got to go out. The kids' lunches have to be packed if you're a mother or father, or, if you have to clean something up, it's like, just spend the time, sit there. I understand those are needs too, but if you want to start implementing a time to get that prepared prior to your wake-up call, like the night before, that's something that I've implemented. Especially, I've been in the office a lot lately, so I'm literally setting everything up for myself the night before. I wake up, just grab it, and I know I can just sit in the time with God before I go. It has changed my life. Like, sometimes it'll be those moments where you feel your mind trying to drag you out and go throw you in the rat race. And instead, I choose to sit with God and fight against that urge. Because it's going to be a muscle that you have to work. It's like, you don't just automatically get to relax. It's going to be something that takes time. And I'm not talking like, oh, I'm having a glass of wine and relaxing. Some people will say that they do that. But I just want to talk about adding stress and stress relief. True stress relief is not adding alcohol to it. Alcohol over time, cortisol levels are actually increased. If you do have a glass of wine, people say that it helps them to relax, but it does increase your cortisol levels, and it actually does cause disrupted sleep. That is something I have learned. I don't drink anymore, obviously. It's been over a year, but in case you say, oh, I just, I smoke before I go to bed and relax, that never relaxed me, honestly. It just kept my mind going, but glasses of wine, it truly does increase your cortisol levels and does not help as much as we think it does. Going against the grain is truly what I'm emphasizing here, is going against the grain and finding the time to de-stress and relax. And it is something you really have to work on. maybe it's 5 minutes there, maybe it's 10 minutes the next day. Maybe you pull back again and you're like, oh, I can only do 5 minutes. Well, you know what? It's a start. If you're starting a new habit, like sitting in the stillness, it's going to take some time to get in the groove. I've been at it for months and I still have to tell my mind to stop talking. Like I'm with the Lord. Time to relax. But there's those moments where it's so strengthening to your mind, to your body to sit and relax, and you can feel your body like almost like sinking into this state of just calm, chill. When you do fight it off, you're like, oh, I only intended to come here for 10 minutes and sit and relax. 2 hours goes by. And that's a lot of the time in the summer. That's what was happening for me is I would plan like, oh, I'm just going to sit for like a half hour, read the word, pray, just sit in the sun, relax. No, it's been 2 hours. And you feel this overwhelming joy when you can sit with God for hours and just be relaxed, not touching your phone. That's another one. Put the phone away. If you have like a designated amount of time that you need to do this and you're like, okay, I only have 5 minutes, set an alarm and walk away from your phone and go somewhere else so you can be adhering to your time and not feeling the pressure of having to pick it up and just keep going and scrolling. And it's the phone. It's a lot of it is associated with the phone and the stress related to that. And I get it. I post on social media. I use social media. This is a form of social media, so I get it. I'm not yelling at you or condemning you whatsoever. But setting a boundary and a limit, especially in your stillness and your quiet time, take it away, hide it. I literally, if you could hear the conversations my boyfriend and I have, I will set my phone down, hide it. I will intentionally hide it. I can't find it. I have to ask him to call my phone probably multiple times a week, at least. I was going to say once a day, but it's definitely not. It's at least a couple days a week because I will intentionally, if I am doing something like if I'm editing or if I am wanting to just focus, be still and not have all the tabs open in my head, the phone is the first thing that I put away. The phone is the first thing that my mind wants in the morning. The phone is the first thing my mind wants when I'm sitting and reading the Bible. The phone is the first thing that truly I can speak for all of us. I'm sure that that's the first thing that we want. We want to grab it. Why do you think little children are grabbing the phones and getting addicted and all these other things? But screen time and this constant like this in your mind, like it's just all the light changes and subliminal things as we scroll. It's like it's such a dopamine booster. So you're really going against what your addicted mind wants. And it's tough. It's tough. But you come out being so calm. You have more patience. And you also are just instilling good values to the way that you want to set your life for the future. And it's not something you're going to be perfect at. I still struggle, but it's something at the top of my conscious mind now. Like I said, if I want to focus and I want to relax and I don't want this stress and I want to be still, the phone, I remove it from my viewpoint entirely, and I will sometimes even put it in another room and walk away. I can't find it half the time. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of everything because it seems like everyone's doing it. Go against the grain. That's where you will find success. That's where you will find happiness. That's where you will find learning about yourself in the stillness is such a beautiful thing. But I wanted to just emphasize the solitude with the Lord. It's just a beautiful thing. It really is. There's just moments that you can't even share with anyone. It's like this joy in your heart that just like overpours. I want that for everyone. It's just so great. But Jesus was doing so while he was with the disciples. We learned that Jesus would go and spend time with the Lord after he would be with his disciples, after he was preaching and talking to everyone and healing a bunch of people and rebuking demons. And, he would go and spend time with God in the stillness. He could have been, when Jesus was here on earth, he could have just continued to go and go and go. And because he knew his time was up, He knew he had a timeline. Jesus could have been overcome by stress. Jesus could have had a heart attack. Jesus could have had all these chronic illnesses because he was given the understanding by God that he would be put to the cross. Jesus knew. God had spoken to him and given him the awareness of the steps to take for God's will, and Jesus knew he'd be crucified. Imagine, it's just a regular human being told something like that. Instant fear, instant anxiety, instant just crippled life. That was never Jesus. Jesus did not do that. He kept going. He would be still with the Lord. He would be still in his timeline of his 30 plus years of life. He took the time to be still and to release the anxiety. I mean, he tells us point blank, like I said, take no thought for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. And his deep knowing of that, he guides us in that way. But I mean, we're not being crucified to a cross. We don't know the end all of how we are going to die. Jesus knew, and he still was not stressed. He was still not chronically ill. He was still not causing so much pain and suffering in his own mind, which then would have created suffering in his body with anxiety, fear, stress, all the stress, like the illnesses that I had said about hypertension, high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease. He didn't show the human side of being stressed out or chronically stressed to the point of he's rushing to get everything done. I mean, literally, an example of that in the Bible was Lazarus. His friend Lazarus had ended up getting sick. His sisters, Lazarus' sisters, had called for Jesus, sent notes, sent word to him that he's sick, you need to come now. Jesus being Jesus, he knows he can heal, at God's will. He stayed in the stillness for 2 whole days before going. And people were very upset with him, but think about this. We're talking about a supernatural man. His friend that he loves so dearly, he was about to be overtaken by a sickness or an ailment. And Jesus didn't go for 2 more days after receiving this word. So that's a good example. That one I didn't even take my notes on. That's how I know the Holy Spirit works. But this is the regular mind. Especially if you were Lazarus' sister sending word that this happened, you would have been freaking out. They were freaking out when Jesus finally came. They were like, he died because you didn't come. You didn't get here in time. He's gone now. And they were blaming him. Just think about it's like the average mind versus a Christian understanding by understanding what Jesus has told us, what God has laid out for us. Versus the average mind, the unbeliever, the one that is chronically stressed. Or maybe it's it might be the believer that is just needing a reminder. Maybe this is a good reminder for you. Please listen to what Jesus had to say about do not worry. Go and rest the way that God also entails for us to. In Hebrews chapter 4, verse 10, for anyone who enters God's rest also rest from their works, just as God did his own. You're granted this permission to rest, and you should rest. If you are coming and entering into the love of God, the love of Jesus, you should be resting. You get to rest. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 10 is just a gift to you. Go and rest. Rest. You should be. And, just the Bible stories just help to emphasize, especially for the world that we are living in, it is a gift to us to be able to read the truth and understand that no matter what the world is, I'm sitting here and I have this image that the world is spinning around me and I'm just sitting here still. That's what it feels like when you start to appreciate and understand the beauty, the subtle art, as I mentioned for the name, the subtle art of being still, the subtle art of stillness, you really do get to just appreciate this, like this bubble around you while the world is like rushing back and forth by you on each side at all times. You can see that, even for me, like if I'm driving somewhere, I'm fine with being in the slow lane these days. I used to drive like 15 over the speed limit, maybe 20. Got out of a couple speeding tickets, thankfully, but I was rushing, riding everyone's butts, texting and driving. Oh my goodness, it's the worst habit ever. Please do not do it. Especially with the way that everyone's driving now. It's like you look down for 1 second, that 1 second is not worth your life. But I was riding on everyone's butt, blasting music. Like I did not have stillness in my mind. It took me a long time, and I'm 27 now. It took me a long time to get to this point. So I'm hoping I'm speaking to all different ages. It's never too late to just come back and just be still and rest and be calm. And even down to the way that I speak now, it's because of the stillness. I mean, all of it is because of God. These are the gifts that God has given me, this wisdom, this knowledge, this understanding. But even the way that I speak to human beings, the way that I speak to myself, I am more calm. There is no rush. I mean, yeah, I will fall victim to the feeling of that, everything is going by so quickly and I need to do this, need to do that. I mean, I'm still fighting that urge because I'm 15 episodes in and I haven't yet posted them. I haven't posted the podcast. I am still fighting the urge because it's not my time yet. God still has allowed me the capacity to be in the stillness. And that's just the joy that I have over it. It's not something where I'm like, I'm going to miss this opportunity. It's like, you don't miss anything when you have a plan set out for you, and that plan being the one that God created. If I did it on my own time, it wouldn't be right. But it's just an emphasis that there is beauty in stillness, and you get to appreciate these other things that you may have missed. I encourage you to test this out. Take 5 minutes in the morning. Even, you know what? I'm going to take it a step further because 5 minutes just isn't enough. Do 10 minutes. Recognize, even if you're not a Christian, if you just want to sit there and hang out for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just sit in the stillness. See where your mind goes. Does your mind will be trying to tell you to get up and do this. And we don't need it. Fight the urge. And being in the stillness, you find that your mind can be creative. Your mind will take you to other ways. If you reject the thought of getting up and going, go, you will find that there's this like other side of your brain that offers peace, calm, serenity, and then your eyes will wander. Let's say you're sitting outside, your eyes will wander. You'll see a bird or a hawk, or something like a bird or a hawk or a deer, or you'll see something like a cloud or a rainbow in the sky or the pretty sunset. It's like, it'll bring you back to just appreciating what is, because we're just existing, and that it should be beauty enough. There's no reason to be rushing and running to the next destination. There really is just so much beauty in being able to rest and relax. And, a lot of these things, I mean, I may be speaking to a younger generation like myself, where you're maybe in your 20s. Maybe you're younger than that even. We aren't thinking about, what we're choosing today will affect us in the future. And I'm not talking about like, I need to do task A, B, C to get to the end. I'm talking about our choices today. The stress that we are putting on our bodies now will affect us in the future. The choices we are making that are just speeding us by in life, we're going to wish for those years back. We're going to wish for time to have slowed down. I guarantee you that. Because if we are constantly rushing, it's going to feel like we never had time to sit and enjoy the simple things. And I'm talking about appreciation of it too. Time is the most valuable thing that we have here on earth. It is the one and only thing that's dictating our timeline is time. So if, like how Jesus had said, take no thought for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough worry of its own, trouble of its own. Essentially, it's like stay in the moment. When you stay in the moment, there's so much beauty about it.